So yeah, take a look at this image, a human hand reaching for a robotic one. So for a decade, this was stuff of science fiction, but today it's more like a reality, right? So we are building machines powered by artificial intelligence, right? So you would have seen the Tesla Optimus robots or whatever, and even if you want to talk about this Chat GPT voice assistants, where we take any suggestions or any information, so just like our friend and all, right? So this has become very possible from the past some 3 to 4 years. Actually, we have a great uh, we can say a great stride in the technology, right? So the advancements are happening like that. Okay, so what can we call all these things? So I consider everyone that they don't know what is the meaning of artificial intelligence and all. We will discuss all those things today. All right, so this is the big question we have. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, what it is, so we have a formal definition here which says that it's a field of creating computer systems that can perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence. Okay, so whether it can be a visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, or even language translation, so whatever it may be, so which require the human intelligence. If we are replacing human intelligence with other computer based system with some artificial intelligence, that is nothing but a great moment. And that particular artificial computer based systems can be simply called as, so this artificial intelligence itself, right? So this is just a formal definition, and here I have kept some four key capabilities what our artificial intelligence can do. Of course, these key capabilities are for humans as well, like perception, reasoning, learning, decision making, etc. So these are all the key capabilities of humans itself. So I know that you did not get most of it from the formal definition. So let me keep things simple, right? So that is the reason I kept one more slide on this. What is artificial intelligence in simple terms? Okay. So AI is when machines think and act like humans, right? And it can learn, solve problems, and make decisions on their own. So I could even add on their own over here, right? And under this you can see a broad spectrum, right? So artificial intelligence here being the entire domain, and in that we can see some subfields, right, or subdomains you can call it as. We will look at what all these are. Okay, so I assume you do not know the difference between machine learning, deep learning, or generative AI. We will discuss that in the next moments, right? So here you can see, right, so how the technology has changed. Earlier we have to drive, but we have self-driving cars. So and then we have these robots that you are seeing in IPL and all. So I mean they got popularized after we they telecasted in IPL, right? And the simulations and all, and the coding part, right? So here you can see, so these are all some of the applications and which we did not think of around 10 years ago, right? But we have been looking all these things in today's world. So now comes the question, what is this AI ecosystem, right? So I have been telling about artificial intelligence and all, but I did not tell you what is the definition of artificial intelligence, right? So let me write that particular definition in my notepad. One second please, I hear some kind of voice. Just a second. Yes. Yeah. So I was telling, right, what is the definition of artificial intelligence? AI is a field of computer science dedicated to creating machines or software capable of such as problem solving or learning, reasoning, and understanding language. Okay, so this is self-explanatory and we have discussed on this as well. Am I right? So AI is a field of computer science dedicated to creating machines or software capable of performing tasks that require human intelligence, right? So now we are able to replace, I mean, now if you look at the systems, we have computer-based systems. They have intelligence, even they surpass the human intelligence in many ways, right? So if you ask me some kind of what do we call the applications of artificial intelligence, whatever you are looking at, right? So AI as virtual assistants or face recognition where you are unlocking your smartphone, right? And recommendation systems that we are having right now, right? So if you open Netflix and if you have watched a movie, so based on your interest, some other movies will be popping up, right? So there's those are all nothing but your recommended movies. And of course the same thing applies to Flipkart or Amazon as well. So when you purchase a product and or otherwise you keep a product in your wish list, so the same related items will be coming up when you open your the website. So those are all recommendation systems or Google Maps or smart home devices, right? So today we have a smart thermostats as well, so adjusting the room temperature automatically based on usage patterns, right? So those are all computer based system we have in artificial intelligence, right? And then coming to machine learning, so let me write a definition on machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of AI, as you have seen already, that enables computers or models to learn and improve, recognizing patterns in data without being, I can say, explicitly programmed for every possible scenario, right? So what do we have here? Subset of AI that enables computers or models to learn and improve their performance by recognizing patterns in data without being explicitly programmed for every possible scenario. See, the most important thing is this. Okay, so when we say, recognizing patterns in data, it means that when you provide a employee data set, let's say this is a very simple example. I usually say when we teach this machine learning, right? So, for example, you have and employee salary and employee experience, and you provide this data set to your model, whatever the artificial intelligence model we are having. Okay, so at least in this case let's take it as machine learning model. All right, so if you give this particular data to it, it captures the relationship between it captures the relationship between these two variables, like employee salary and experience. Okay, so that is nothing but more or less, or in simple terms, recognizing the patterns in data. So it finds the equation how we can represent employee salary or employee experience, right? So if this particular thing is given, so it will predict the experience, and if you give this, it is going to predict this experience and all. So if we have two variables and you have a complete data set, it is able to capture all the patterns in data, and it can perform on its own. Like for example, a new hire, you'll have to do, right? So a new employee is coming to your company and you are a HR, and you have a model with you, ML model, and that particular ML model, it should be able to predict its the employee salary exactly, okay, even in decimals, right? So that part, how the model is able to do is when you give a proper data set to it, complete data set, and when you train that model, so that is nothing but your machine learning, and it recognizes the patterns in data without being explicitly programmed for every possible scenario. So you won't be saying, right? So a new person with 7 years of experience will be coming, so for 7 years of experience, you calculate like this, so that calculation will not be providing. So we need not to tell every possible scenario to a model, so it will be doing everything on its own. All right, so let's take what are all the other applications we have in today's world. Okay, so I can show that to you, the slide. And yeah, on the right side you can see a person, Geoffrey Everest Hinton. So he is called as godfather of artificial intelligence, right? So you have been looking at some of the news journals or these blog posts and all, right? So most of the news circulate around him, so whatever he says, it comes outside in a viral manner, right? So he's called as the godfather of artificial intelligence, and most of his contributions are on deep learning. Okay, so most of his contributions are mostly on deep learning, and whatever the generative AI we have today, that is dependent on deep learning algorithms, I can say, as of now. But now I have introduced you to machine learning, right? So you understood the machine learning. The most important thing is that data importance. Okay, and then, so these are the applications I wanted to say about machine learning. Okay, so for example, if you get an email, so it will be automatically segregated whether it should be in inbox or whether it should be in spam, or it is a social update, forums or promotions, right? So how this classification of emails are going on, it is because of the ML model behind this application. All right, and then we have this Flipkart. Okay, so I was telling you, right, the recommended items and all. So how we are able to get that? So because we have some algorithm or a model, we'll usually interchange these words, algorithm or a model. So when you come up with this artificial intelligence terminology, right? And then we have the Google Maps, where from around 10 years we have been using this Google Maps, which tells you the distance, time and all, right? So these are all some types of a few applications of machine learning. And if you want me to keep some other applications, email filtering, or see, you have seen this Flipkart or Amazon recommendations, right? So that I am keeping once again recommends. And then you have credit card fraud transactions. Okay, so that credit card fraud detections, or even weather forecasting. So it is nothing but you will be providing some data to it, and finally your model should be able to forecast or predict few things. Okay, and even the search engines, like Google refining search results based on your previous searches. Okay, based on your previous searches or clicks. So it is nothing but your click stream data, and also, so that data, or even the language translation we have. So these are all few of the applications of machine learning. All right, so hope you got this, what I'm trying to say. And now it is time for us. Of course, there may be some gaps in your understanding, right? So we will cover them in your doubt sessions. Okay, and now comes the next field, subfield of artificial intelligence, which is deep learning. Okay, so what is this deep learning basically? Let me write the definition over here, and then we'll move to the actual meaning of deep learning. Okay, so deep learning is a specialized subset of machine learning that employs artificial neural networks. Okay, ANN means artificial neural networks inspired by the structure of human brain to automatically, I would like to extend a little bit, to automatically learn complex patterns and representations from large scale data. Okay, so this is the definition of deep learning. Okay, so please don't worry about this definition. We'll look at what this is actually. So next thing is this deep learning, and as you know, this is a subfield of machine learning and artificial intelligence, right? That uses multi-layered neural networks to model and understand complex patterns in large data sets. Of course, please ignore this. And the most important thing for today to discuss on deep learning is that it is inspired by the structure and functioning of the human brain. Okay, so you can have a look at this particular two diagrams. Okay, on the left side, on the extreme left side, we have a diagram. Okay, so let me put things over here. So I would like to ask you a question. What is brain made up of? Brain is made up of billions of nerve cells. So this we have studied during our maybe in schooling, right? Billions of nerve cells, or they can also be called as neurons, right? So so this is the image that I have kept. So each of the nerve cell, billions of nerve cells means I have taken only one nerve cell and I kept over here. I mean, this is how it looks like. All right. And on the left side, you can see some information is passing, and this is the animation I kept. And you have cell body, and we have some other part. Okay, let me tell you this simply. Okay, so for example, I am teaching. I mean, I am saying something in today's class, right? So whatever I'm saying right now, that particular information is processing inside my mind, inside my brain. Okay, or let's put it this manner. Okay, if somebody is pinching you, so this is a common example, right? So if somebody is pinching you on your hand, you know that pain signals, they travel like this. Okay, so they come to your brain, right? The pain signals travels to your brain, and brain is nothing but billions of nerve cells. So let's say this is the first nerve cell, and receives some kind of signals from that particular sense. Okay, which is pinching or pain, something like that. So dendrites or those the part, the inner parts which receives that particular signals. And then you have the second most important part of your nerve cell, which is cell body. It process that particular information. Okay, it process that particular information, and finally whatever the information, so here that information may be the intensity of your pain, or maybe the location of the person pinching you on your human, on your body, right? So these two things, and cell body will be processing that, whether it is a pain, whether it is a pat, or whether you fell down or something like that. Your brain it process information, and finally it will be sending that information to the outer part, which are synaptic terminals. All right, and from here, this particular synaptic terminals is again connected to some other nerve cell, and which is more like a network. Okay, so this is connected to some other nerve cell, that nerve cell is connected to some other nerve cell, like that. So that is nothing but your billions of nerve cell connected with each other, like a network, connected with each other like a network. All right, so for example, if you are saying this as natural neural network. We can call this as natural neural network, right? So I was telling, right, nerve cells can also be called as neurons. So it can be called as natural neural network. Okay. And during that time, 1943, something like that, few of the scientists, so they wanted to create this particular natural neural network in an artificial manner. Okay, so that is the reason deep learning, it is inspired by the structure and functioning of human brain. When I say that, so during 1940s we had this some kind of theories which is uh, which says that they wanted to create a mathematical model which looks or process something like your human brain itself. So that is what they have designed, which looks something like this. Okay, so they designed a network, right, which contains an input layer just like we have dendrites over here. So it takes up the information, and then we have a hidden layer over here which process that information. I was telling, right, whether that is a pain or where that pain is and how much intensity that pain is, I mean those signals. Okay, and then finally we have the output layer which carries the output. Okay, so if you call this as natural neural network, what do you call this? Since this is made up of made in artificial manner, this can be called as artificial neural network. Am I right or wrong? So it receives the input and it processes the input, and finally it provides the output to the other, let's say, neural network. Okay, so if this is natural neural network, you can call this as artificial neural network. That is very simple, and we represent artificial neural network like ANN. All right, so these are nodes. Yeah, so hope you got the how this deep learning has evolved. And the study of artificial neural networks is nothing but deep learning. Okay, so uh, this is artificial neural network, and if you keep on adding some other parts over here, it becomes a deep. Okay, so that is the reason deep learning. We will see it in next slide, but let me keep all the examples, the applications of deep learning. Okay, so you will be surprised by these kind of applications. Okay, uh, by deep learning we might say uh, it might be having some very few applications, but look at the applications we are having. Okay, and medical imaging and autonomous vehicles and handwriting recognition. So this is a very small example, and synthesis. So we have lots of applications of deep learning. I can even tell you some 20 applications of deep learning. So that important this concept is. Okay, so when we say some of the applications, so you are using the voice assistants, right? Voice assistants and all, which transcribe spoken words into text accurately. So those are all nothing but applications of deep learning itself. And automatic image tagging means, so for example, you are uploading some photo in Facebook or somewhere, and you're tagging your friends, and whenever you upload other photo or something like that, your system or Facebook app, it will be detecting your friends automatically, right? So in this photo, the person you uploaded last time, that person is present in this particular photo. Like that, a Facebook can even tell you who your friend is, and it can even tell his name when you tag him in the first time. Okay, and medical imaging we are having. So medical imaging in the sense, so people are using in MRI scans or X-ray images using these neural networks simply. Okay, so for diagnosing some kind of diseases. Okay, or CT scans, etc., etc., right? Autonomous vehicles are nothing but the self-driving vehicles. So basically we have this Tesla cars, right? Tesla cars interpreting real-time sensor data to drive autonomous vehicles, in the on the roads, navigating in the roads. So basically these vehicles, uh, in China also, in China, US and all, so we it doesn't require any driver or any professional driver. So you just book in app and it comes to pick you. So you just have to sit. So that navigation of roads or following the traffic signals or identifying the cars, beside that particular car. So all these kind of things are have become really possible by this deep learning neural networks and deep learning. All right. And then handwriting recognition is very small. So whenever you write on paper and you send that to your chat gpt and all, it is able to detect your handwriting, right? Because you can write few people. Let's take this example. Few people, they write two like this, and few people write two like this, right? So few people write two like this. So all these are kind of it depends on the individual, and all these are same, like two is represented in different manners. Okay. And your chat gpt or whatever the application you're having, it is able to detect this very easily. All right. So that is nothing but your handwriting recognition, not only about numbers, whatever you write. Okay. And speech synthesis and all, right? So these things, so like Amazon Echo Bot, or we have many devices which can synthesize the speech and work on its own. All right. So if we say Amazon Echo that play this particular song, it is able to understand that speech, and it will play that particular song, right? So those are all your applications of deep learning. All right. So this is one way of putting deep learning. And now I did not tell you, I mean, so these are all the applications of deep learning which we have just discussed. All right. So I was telling you, right, the study of artificial neural networks is nothing but deep learning, right? So this is so this particular artificial neural network, if I represent it like this, adding more layers to it. Okay. So these are all hidden layers. So I was telling, right, hidden layer is nothing but the processing layer, where that person pinched you, or how much is the intensity of the pain. All those calculations will be happening inside it. Okay. So that particular layer is this, right? And each of the layer will have its work. Okay. So when I say yeah, for example, let's say we have an image like a dog image. All right. So and you are sending this particular dog image to your chat gpt or whatever the model, llm model you are having. So let us see how it will recognize. So this is x1, x2, x3, or nothing but your dog photos. Okay. So each of the image is represented in number of pixels, right? So even if you take a photo on your mobile phone of some 50 megapixel capacity, your photo might be having some 10 MB size, right? So MB is nothing but megapixels basically. So each of the image can be represented as pixels, and those pixel values will be sending like this. Okay. And what each of the layer will be grabbing, I mean, the information in the photo. Okay. So let us say this first layer, which means this first layer. So this first layer will identify the patterns, like what are the circles or what are all the curves that particular image is having. All right. And let us take the second layer. This second layer will identify some kind of shapes like this. Okay. Some round shape or something like that. And the third layer we have, so it might find some color differences. And fourth layer we have, it finds the shape of ears, shape of legs or tail, etc. So finally, so if you keep on adding layers like this, finally your network, the deep learning neural network, it will be able to identify that particular image as a dog. All right. Based on the shapes it has absorbed. So it will be identifying this particular image is for a dog, not for a cat, elephant, or a parrot. Okay. So this is the beauty of deep learning. Each of the layer we are putting over here, it captures some kind of information from the input layer. All right. So this I kept in a simple manner, but the concept remains the same. All right, now comes the main thing of main word or the buzzword for today. So this generative AI. So let us see what this generative AI is all about. And I mean, let me keep the definition of it basically. Okay, so generative AI, Gen AI is a branch of AI is a branch of You already know this branch of AI. So focused on specifically creating original content such as text, image, audio, or code. Okay, so this is the definition of generative AI, which you already know. So there is no doubt about it. Generative AI is a branch that is more inclined on creating the original content. Okay, so yeah, let me give you some definition of it over here as well. I kept this slide for you. So generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence that focus on creating new content like text, image, audio, and video, like you see over here. But you know, the applications of generative AI is not at all related, I mean limited to these four. Okay, nowadays generative AI, as I was telling you, right, medical imaging and all, of course it is related to image. And if you talk about this healthcare domain, so biological data sequences is something we get, right? The drug discovery that we are having today, I mean which medicine for the disease, right? So it will be calculating the permutations and combinations of each of the chemical reactions, and finally it will come up with the result that for this particular disease, so this is the proper chemical formula we have. Okay, like that. And 3D modeling and structured data, product designs and blueprints. And you know, with generative AI, even we have started taking movies completely. All right, we do not require any kind of VFX or you know that a lot of infrastructure is required, right, for making a some you know, sci-fi movie. So generative AI has made all this possible. Okay, so I need not to say the applications of generative AI, right? You already know about it. So for example, chatbots, image and recognition, chatbots, image recognition. Okay, and AI generated music and code generation, which you have in sorry, what you have in your Copilot, I mean GitHub Copilot, or even the Microsoft Copilot, where you are using daily in your office laptops. Okay, because I'm thinking like they have given access to GitHub Copilot and Microsoft Copilot in your organization, so that's the reason I have taken that example. So deep fakes and all, so these are all you know, some applications of generative AI, which you already know because we are seeing lots of videos in YouTube and all, right? So that's the thing. So this is our definition on generative AI. So okay, so now comes the important part, I would say. So in order to save some time, I have kept things ready for you. Okay, yeah. So I was telling you about machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI, right? But we do not know what is the difference between these three. All right. So let me introduce you to why the difference and all. Just give me a moment, please. Okay. So if you are a data engineer or you know, tester, or if you are in any other domain, so most of the times you deal with the data, right? So the data may be in the form of structured manner, like structured data, like in the form of rows and columns in the tables, I mean. And unstructured data, so unstructured data is more like your JSON files or YAML files you are having, right? So it will have some kind of structure, but you know, that is not at all completely structured like rows and columns like we have here. Okay, and the other type of data is, sorry, this is semi structured, this is semi structured, and we have unstructured as well. Okay, unstructured data. So what is this unstructured data? Unstructured data is nothing but you know, the data which has no uh, you know, some type of structure in it. All right, so whatever the social media posts that we keep, right, the Twitter tweets or the images, audio, or whatever, they are not structured just like the rows and columns we are having. So at least 80 to 90% of the data we have today, 80 to 90% of data we have today. So it is all of non unstructured data only. So for example, I was telling, right, the tweets and all, the tweets or images, okay, or videos or text or whatever, the emails and all. So they are all unstructured in manner. Okay, so this is structured tables and all. So these are all like key value pairs we are having, right? JSON and all. Okay, so that is the thing. Now we have this, right? But we have three fields. So why I explained this particular thing to you is so you'll get some kind of understanding between machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI, how things are varying. Like, so for example, if you take this machine learning, so most of the times machine learning deals with the structured data only. So like rows and columns. All right. So in 19 from 1970s to till 2010s and all, we have this machine learning models mostly working on this rows and columns itself. Okay, and there are kind of drawbacks to machine learning models as well. That particular drawback, one of them being it is fundamentally clumsy when dealing with complex unstructured data, and people have tried sending unstructured data to it. For example, the text we are having, text, let us take this as text. So this text people tried to send in the machine learning model, but it failed. Okay, so it is able to capture a very limited amount from the text data. All right, so that is the thing. So machine learning models failed in dealing with complex data. So it might be image data or it might be a text data. Okay, so even kind of audio also people have tried, but machine learning has failed in doing that. So that is one of the drawback we are having. So immediately, so people have started building up or creating some kind of mathematical models, or introducing models like deep learning and all. So they have tried to do that, and of course they overcome the limitations of the machine learning totally. So people started using deep learning even for complex unstructured data. Okay, so that is the thing I have kept over here. So in order to save some time, I have written things over here, and you can see. So learn what matters in images by itself. I have shown you, right, the dog image and all. It is able to recognize, right, and understand the sentence meaning, context naturally, emotion of speech, or even the photos, text, or sound without any extra preparation. You just send the data once, and a deep learning neural network will be capturing that amount of data, and finally it will be working on its own. Okay, to whatever the task you are going to provide it, right? So this is about deep learning, and you can see, right, the difference between machine learning and deep learning, where here we usually work with the structured data, and machine learning failed to grasp the details of unstructured data in its model. Okay, and deep learning is able to do that. This is one way of telling the difference between machine learning and deep learning. Of course there are many other differences. Basically the feature engineering, we can say. Okay, so you do not know what is feature engineering and all. That's the reason I am not saying it. And deep learning is nothing but your subfield of machine learning only, whatever the artificial neural networks I was telling earlier, right? So these are nothing but a type of machine learning algorithms itself. Okay, that we see in our regular classes. Okay, the difference between machine learning and deep learning. All right, now comes this part, generative AI, and as you know this already, I need not to say, but there is one important point over here, which is generative AI has backbone as deep learning neural networks. Okay, so this we do not know, right? Okay, so in order to learn generative AI, or in order to have very thorough understanding on generative AI, you should know a good amount of details on deep learning itself. Okay, because that's the backbone of generative AI. All right, so that's the reason people start the training with the generative AI and all. Okay, now comes the next part. So generative AI, and you know what we have done with the generative AI, right? So most of us are using large language models every day, right? So I just want to keep few things over here. Okay, so what are large language models? So large language models are one of the applications of generative AI only, that you know already. I need not to say. But what are large language models? So large language models, or we call them as large. Firstly, why? Because it's trained on billions of or millions of data sets. Millions of data sets. When coming to the data sets, it might be a website, email, textbook, PDF, or whatever it is. So it is trained on huge amount of data. That's what I wanted to say here. Huge amount of data. So this is one thing. And why do we call this as a language model then? Okay, and of course huge amount data, and it is having huge parameters. Okay, so that we'll see in tomorrow's class what are these huge parameters and all. And for today I'm keeping this as simple as possible. And why do we call it as a language? Because it has been trained on a huge amount of language material, and it is able to converse with us brilliantly in that particular language. Of course we have many tools, right? So the tools which corrects our English language and all. So those are all how they are able to do that, because they know language very well. Okay, so that is one thing. And why do we call this as a model? Because this is an algorithm which have some set of rules and some set of code behind it. So that is the reason, and we are going to use this particular algorithm for doing some kind of tasks. Some tasks, whether it may be image generation or text or whatever. So that is the reason we are calling this as large language models. And you know a lot of it, right? So you are using ChatGPT every day, and you know what are all the applications of ChatGPT and all. Please have a look at it. I'll have some water. So this is the thing. All right, so can large language models do everything? Are they capable of doing everything? So that is the question. So now we have LLMs, right? Like chat gpt or Gemini or Anthropic, Claude, etc. So are they able to do all the tasks, or are there any kind of limitations to these LLMs? That is the question. Okay, now let us look at, of course you might say that it can do all of the tasks, because image generation or text related information, or even nowadays we have AI generated music, LLMs as well. So they are able to do whatever the task you ask it. Okay, but I would like to ask you, what are there any kind of limitations for these LLMs, or you can even call them as drawbacks? But for now I am keeping as limitations of LLMs. Do they have any? Yes, they have few limitations. Okay, so the first limitation here being outdated information, right? When I say outdated information, so when you ask chat gpt what happened in what is the news today, so it may not answer. Okay, so now chat gpt, if you are asking a question like, if you're asking a question like what happened today, it may not answer. Happened today, the current news, I mean, it may not answer, because it is trained till some December 2024 only. So whatever the information we have after this 2024 December, it may not know that particular information. So that is nothing but your outdated information. Okay, so that is one of the biggest limitations, right? Because it doesn't have the current news and all, right? And going to the second limitations, no access to specific or private data. Okay, so if you ask a question to it, so let us say you have some company related question. So what is the policy maternity policy in our company? Okay, let's say some so and so company you mentioned. Does your LLM able to answer this particular question? Because ChatGPT is not trained on this particular matter, on your company related information and all, so it cannot answer obviously, right? So it doesn't know what is the maternity policy in your company because it is not trained on that. So these are all company related documents, right, which will not be available ready made outside. So these are all, this kind of information is not readily available outside. So, so this is again a biggest limitation for your LLM that we know already, right? So that is the thing. No access to specific or private data. Of course, you ask any kind of data about yourself or your company or whatever the work you are doing. So they have set up standards, right? Rules and regulations to not expose the sensitive matter outside. Because of that reason, our LLM may not be knowing that information, and finally, it has become the biggest limitation. And the other thing is being limited context window. Okay, so what does it mean by complex context window, right? Context window, for example, let's say let's say you are sending a very big information to it, like you are sending some 500-page document, or you are uploading 500-page document to your LLM. Okay, whatever may be the LLM, right? So will that particular LLM able to grasp or take whatever the information available in this 500-page document? Obviously no. Okay, I want to show this example to you. Just give me a moment, I'll show that to you. um, One second, I am working on it. So I would like to show some good example to you, that's the reason. Okay, yeah, I have a document that I'm going to show you now. Desktop. So let's say I have this big story with me, some around some 1,000 paragraphs we have here. Okay, and in between some data I kept about my information. Okay, it doesn't have that information readily. 1 second, please. So I kept some kind of information. It is not able to figure it out. Okay, so I kept some kind of information to it. So now let us ask, I'm sending this document to our one of the model we are having, and I'm asking it, can you give me some information about Naveen in the document? So I'm asking this particular question to our LLM, and let's see whether it is able to answer or not. So what it is saying is that I couldn't find any information about Naveen in the document you provided, right? So this is the limitation our model is having. Okay, LLM, because it can't go each and every line. I mean, it may read only some 4096 tokens or words which are available on the top. Okay, so it may not know or may not read the information that we have under it. Okay, so we have a lot of information, right? It cannot read all the matter. So because of this context window only, it will have some set of context window, which means like you read only 4096 words, right? So above 4096 words, it will not be able to capture that information. Okay, so now what I have done is I have built some kind of application like this. Okay, so what I did was I added my document to it. So this is the document I am sending it, and now I would like to build this particular chatbot to answer my question. So let us see whether it is able to answer or not. So I'm running that particular application, that's it. So this is a simple code of your RAG application, all right? So this is very simple one, and we will have a look at what are all the things and all. So you need not to worry about it. So this text splitter or chunk size and chunk overlap. So all these kind of things, how we usually split the data, whatever we are having. Okay, so yeah, 1 second, please. Can you see my screen like the chatbot and all? No, or yes? Okay, yeah. So yeah, let me run this application once again and let us see it. So I'm stopping the application or the code and all. So I would like to show you once again how the code is running or creating the chatbot and all. So it went through that particular document, whatever I have, right? So this particular document. So what it is doing is that it is loading the vector store. So vector store is something which captures all the information you have in this particular document. Okay. So I'm asking it a question, right? So what are all the movies Naveen watched? Okay. So that information is available inside. See, it is giving how it is doing is that it has provided the information that we have in the document. And the most important thing is this chunks, right? So whatever the data we have in that particular document, it will take some amount of chunks, okay, like this, some chunks, and it will provide that particular chunks to your LLM. All right. So let me, yeah, let me introduce you to that particular concept. Okay, so the application that we have built is RAG. All right, retrieval augmented generation. Okay, so RAG application, RAG is an additional capability that we are going to provide for our LLM. So whatever the question you ask about your a company related document or even the personal information, or even whatever the information you have in your text document or whatever, so your LLM will not be able to answer that because it is not trained on that particular information. Okay, so we will have to provide that information to it additionally. All right, that's what your RAG will do. That's what we have done here in the chatbot. So it is able to tell uh, whatever the information available in your text document. So we know, right? So LLM might be reading only 4096 words, but when you give this RAG capability to it, it will read all the document. I mean, whatever the document you are providing, like 500 pages or 600 pages or whatever. I'm just telling this document as one example. RAG can be of anything. Okay, the source can be of anything. So that information will be sent to LLM, and LLM, as it is very good at understanding the context, and this particular information will be sent by RAG. LLM will be able to answer it perfectly. All right. So this is the same example. If I ask LLM what is the maternity leave policy in our company, it may not answer it correctly. All right, because it doesn't know your company's related data. That is the reason we will provide, of course, in your company as well. They would have built lots of chat bots, right? So which can answer your maternity leave policy, or what are the holidays available in the month of November, mandatory holidays or optional holidays. So your chatbot is able to answer all those things because they built that application with this RAG. Okay, so they provided all your company document to it, and then they made that chatbot. So now the chatbot is able to answer whatever the information you have in your company as well. I mean, the important information and all. Right? Hope you got the point. So whatever the limitations we have for LLM, so they basically some of them are able to recovered or fixed by adding this additional capability to it. So which is nothing but your RAG. All right, so that's what I wanted to say. And we'll have to build some kind of applications with LM and RAG, right? So that we usually do with some kind of additional tools or other things we are having. All right, so yeah, let me go to the next slide. So hope you got some good idea on what I'm trying to say, right? So all this information hope you got. Now it is time for going through the general information. All right, so why one should learn generative AI now? Okay, so that is I need not to say, a lot better on that, on this particular question. So basically we'll have lots of jobs. Of course any AI, even the machine learning engineers who are currently working right now, the machine learning engineers or data scientists we are having, so you would be seeing there, right, that the mini courses online, like data science and generative AI and all, machine learning and generative AI. Everybody in this AI domain, or even the data engineering or any other field, generative AI is will be used in almost all of the fields in the coming months. All right. For now, we have specified generative AI jobs, but in the coming months, generative AI will be entering into almost all of the fields, whether it is, testing or data engineering or Java full stack or something like that. Wherever, whatever may be the field, generative AI will be used there as well. So that is the importance of generative AI. And of course, you see any of the jobs, most of the jobs are asking these generative AI skills. So you can see that a particular um, demand of generative AI. I need not to say it. So these are all this information I have taken from one of the reputed company and research company, I would say. Of course, you can even Google it. Google the generative AI demand in the couple of, I mean, in 2025 or in the next coming months. All right. So this is the talent gap we are having. So that is, so this is a simple chart I have kept animation, I would say. So this is the talent gap we will be having from the couple of months. And you see the generative AI job roles. Currently, we have all these job roles like generative AI engineer, a product manager, LLM application developer, RAG specialist. RAG you already know. Prompt engineering, AI consultant, conversational AI designer, fine tuning specialist, etc. We have a lot of job roles today, and it is exponentially increasing. You can, if you have seen generative AI jobs and all, some 4 months ago, you'll see some little bit amount of jobs. Okay, but if you see now, it has grown exponentially. All right, so we have more than some thousands of job vacancies on generative AI. And on the right side, I kept these emerging roles that you are going to see in the coming months, okay, or in the coming years. So these are all the jobs that are available today. And so if you want to learn generative AI and all, what is the roadmap that you need to follow? So that is the thing I have kept over here. Python, mathematics and statistics, machine learning essentials, because you should know, Python, why we'll be using it. So can you tell me? Can someone tell me why do we use Python? I mean, at least for this generative AI, because Python is readily providing many of the libraries. Okay, so let's say that, sorry, so let's say for machine learning we have other libraries like scikit-learn, right? Scikit-learn, or we can take it from NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, okay, which are for again, Matplotlib is for plots, making NumPy is for numerical arrays, and pandas is for creating the data frames on the data sets and all. Okay, and coming to this, we have ready-made frameworks, TensorFlow, Keras, and PyTorch. Okay, so this particular Python framework, it is for your deep learning. All right, so this is for deep learning. And then we have Gensim, like word to vec, or Glow, or fast text, whatever it is a readily available Python library again. And as I said, PyTorch, right? And then you have the in transformers, we'll be using other libraries and building the applications and all. For LangChain you'll be using, right, for building the applications. Most of the code is readily written in Python itself. Okay, so we have lots of readily available libraries, readily available libraries or frameworks for writing the code very simply. That is the reason people usually choose Python. And of course, more than 95% or even 98% of all the generative AI code is being written in Python only. So that is the reason Python and Python programming. Mathematics and statistics, how much should you know and why you should know? So whatever the calculations are happening inside this machine learning or deep learning, you'll have to know, right? So some kind of matrix or some kind of probability will be happening inside these subfields. Okay, so to know these, the content in a very good manner, in-depth manner, you must know this mathematics and statistics. All right, that is the reason we usually go for mathematics and statistics in the second step. And machine learning essentials. So for becoming a generative AI engineer, why do you need machine learning? I mean, at least the essentials. That is one more question, right? So, this won't be much. Okay, machine learning engineer will be, his content of learning maybe for some 60 hours or 60 to 70 hours. Okay, and when coming to generative AI, machine learning concept maybe for some 6 to 7 hours or even 6 hours only, because you should know what is the difference between machine learning and deep learning, right? So when you build up a model on machine learning only, and when you're going to build a model on deep learning, you will come to understand how we are have changed the way of building the model. I mean, in machine learning and deep learning, and what are the cons of machine learning, or what are all the limitations of machine learning, that you will know only if you have a good amount of knowledge on machine learning. That is the reason people usually starting their preparation and the third step as machine learning. All right, and then deep learning. What is deep learning? We have seen deep learning is nothing but a subfield of machine learning or complete artificial intelligence, as you know already. And your core preparation or your sole preparation on generative AI starts from here. So DLP and natural language processing, or like foundations for your generative AI. All right, so this is the roadmap to generative AI. Okay, in tomorrow's class I will be explaining you, I mean, in Python, what one has to study, and in maths and statistics what one has to study, and machine learning essentials and all. So this roadmap we'll be explaining tomorrow in tomorrow's class, because we already crossed 8:30, right? So people, uh, uh, I value your time, so you need to get ready to office, right? So this is the roadmap to generative AI preparation, and this particular demo is, for the program that we are talking about, which is the Advanced Generative AI Job-Oriented Program, right? And basically, it will be for 3 months of in-depth training. All right. So this is a thing, and I'll be explaining you what is so important about this training, and what are all the course features that we are going to provide and all extensively or more in tomorrow's class. All right, so that is the thing. And if you have any questions, you can ask me, or otherwise we'll catch up tomorrow at the same time. All right, so 24 7:30, right? So so let me just give you a overview of course features. I'll explain you these things in simple manner tomorrow also. So whatever the roadmap I have given, so from Python to generative AI, we have around some 10 to 11 modules. I kept it like more like some 6 7 only, but 10 to 11 modules is what actually required for better generative AI preparation. All right, so for the job preparation, and no prior knowledge is required. So Python from zero level. Okay, so we are going to teach everything. We are going to teach everything, and zero to advanced learning is what I'm saying. So right. So you, if even if you do not have any prior knowledge, so that is important over here. Even if you do not have any kind of prior knowledge, I know that generative AI, many people are aspiring to become a generative AI these days, and I know people might be from testing background or data engineering background. They will not be having any kind of prior knowledge, right? So that we will be covering as part of our classes, right, from zero level. So you need not to have any kind of knowledge as a prerequisite, so no prerequisites. All right, and then zero to advanced learning. So when I say, so we are going to start from the Python, and then we will be slowly moving to the advanced generative AI. Advanced generative AI. Okay, so we will complete generative AI entirely, and then so this course is for 3 months, right? And we'll provide the study materials to you, right? So I can even show some study materials. So yeah, I'll show that to you tomorrow. All right, so this is one thing, and we'll be providing the study materials, and interview questions will be included. Assignments and exercises will be provided. And this is some kind of a special about our course. Okay, so mind maps and concept simulations, usually when I get some free time during my work, so my hobby is to simplify the concepts. All right, so that's what I usually do. So I'll show some kind of, let's take this, some kind of simulations that I usually keep during my classes and all, right? So if I say some things like in a theoretical manner, you may not understand. So in order to have things in a simplified manner, you need not to assume those things or imagine those things, because sometimes our imagination may be wrong. So that is the reason I usually keep this kind of information in almost all of the concepts. All right, and even the mind maps. Okay, sorry, mind maps and all. So let me show that to you. Yeah, so these kind of maps to you, so that you will understand at what point we are in the course, and what are the concepts that we are going to discuss in the next classes. Okay, so this is important for learning the concept in a smooth manner. So what is the concept that is coming in the next classes, and what is the concept we are going to get we are going to see in the next class, or like that you will get some good understanding when you have a look at things easily. All right, so that is the reason I keep this kind of. Okay, so that is one more thing I wanted to say. We will have a discussion on this tomorrow as well. So yeah, we will discuss more on so tomorrow we will have a class on deep learning. All right, so where you can see my teaching style, or the concept of deep learning altogether, right? So concept of deep learning, today we have seen neural network, right? So tomorrow we'll take up one example and I'll show you. All right, so that is the thing. So yeah, if you have any kind of questions, you can ask me now.
Hey, hi, Naveen. Hi.
Hello, hi. Yeah.
So actually, I'm already working developer. At 5 year of experience. So,
Sorry, your
in my
voice is very low. Could you please?
okay, okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, 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 you are.
Actually, I'm working developer having 5 year of experience now. So, the my task is to just like I'm working with one company and they
Mm-hmm.
want to make their LLM. So I know that making our own LLM is very costly. So
Yes.
can we do this after the course, like taking any pre-existing LLM and train
Yes.
on the company data so it can perform for a company only. They want
Okay.
their private LLM.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this is a
So
task. That's why I come into this course. Like because I thought like because seeing the course structure. So I'm
Mhm.
asking like this to you, like, is it possible like after the course we can do that like or make our private models and all?
So one thing I would like to say here, okay. So LLM and yes, as you said, it is very costly. I mean, that training, for example, if you take this GPT 4.5 and all, so it is trained on for months, all right, and millions of dollars have been spent on making this particular model. So usually people in our companies as well, they will not be creating or building up the model from the scratch, okay. So
Mhm.
most of the times they'll be using this particular model only, and they will be fine tuning it as per their requirement. So this is one way of building a chatbot, okay. So for example, uh, if you need your LLM to ask or to get any kind of questions related to your particular company, you will be building up a chatbot or kind of small LLM, right? Altogether,
Yes, yes.
right? So you
Yeah.
can go for fine tuning by providing the information, like you can freeze some of the weights, I mean, freeze some of the weights in your this GPT 4.5, or you take any billion parameter model, you fine tune that particular model, and you can build up a LLM. This is one thing. And the second thing is using the RAG, okay. So you provide some kind of company documents to it and you build a chatbot like this. So your particular question I'm going to answer now. So the question here being, so in order to build a chatbot for our specific company, are we going to look at any LLM and we are going to create that from the scratch? Am I right?
No, actually, let me give you the small context. I'm working on with a client of Pfizer, actually, working a company. So they
Okay.
have a insurance policies and all the medicines. So they want me, just like I have a discussion yesterday with VP. They
Okay.
want like, okay, if I put anything in a chatbot, like particular medicine which the client has taken or whatever the tenders and all. So we will give all the details to the that LLM model. And if I want any information from my data, it will able to give me that. Just like I'm asking about a billing of one client, like how many medicine the particular client take from the Pfizer. So all the data from first year, they will give me the data into the tabular fashion or any fashion. So
Mhm.
like that's something they want.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you can either go for this thing, or you can go for this as well, right? So fine tuning. So in our course, we have taken some 4 to 5 billion parameter model, and we are fine tuning it for our application. All right, and we'll see number of applications on RAG. Okay, so
Okay.
if you are going to take GPT 4.5 or GPT 4 model and you are going to fine tune it, so it makes a lot of cost, right? So in any of the training programs you attend, they will be taking up a limited set of billion parameter model. So they'll be taking some 7 billion parameter model, and they either fine tune it for their application, or they'll be building an application with a RAG capability to be specific to your company. So this is what they do, and we'll be discussing the same in our class.
Okay. Okay. So we are doing a lot of project and doing from scratch, right?
Yes,
In this
yes,
course.
yes. Basically, yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Yeah, hi
So
Naveen. Can
yes,
you hear?
please.
Yeah, so I'm very new to this AI, but
Okay.
I have means I am a Java developer from 15, 17 years I'm working on the Java development. So how this will be beneficial to me, uh, like no, to learn this, and that is what my question.
Yeah. So basically, as of now, generative AI, as I said earlier, most of the applications we are using Python only. All right. So that you already know, Python
Yes.
only we are using for, and you know that Python is a very
Hello, hello. Not able to hear you, Naveen. Hello.
Amit, you are audible. I think it's touch you are.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, Python mostly we are building applications, almost all of the generative AI applications on Python only. But Java, so when you know Java already, so Python is very easy. Like you know, right? So Java, you'll be writing some 50 lines of code. However, in Python, you'll be writing only some 6 lines of code.
Yes,
So this thing we already know. And
yeah,
to your question, how this generative AI course is going to help you? Am I right?
right, right.
Yeah. So generative AI, as I said, um, it is going into almost all of the industries like data engineering, as you know, some data bricks and all. So data bricks is a platform that has already started building their pipelines using generative AI, like Mosaic AI is something, or Cortex AI by Snowflake and all. So we have this going into data engineering. And coming to your Java development and all, it is good to have generative AI knowledge, because of course generative AI is going to enter into the front end applications as well. Of course it has gone, right? So even in our course or generative AI this application building, we'll be using some kind of front ends, like we'll be exposed to cloud based applications where we use the front ends and all. If I say that, you will be confused. Okay, so it's not like a direct answer to it. Having a good knowledge on generative AI, it will be useful for you as a Java developer. If you would like to learn Python, so basically now itself you could change your domain and enter into generative AI engineering. So if not, Java and generative AI, it takes some amount of time. All
Yeah,
right, but
okay.
having
Yeah,
a
I
knowledge
already,
on having
yeah,
a
I
knowledge
already
on this.
gone through this core Python inside. Yeah,
Okay, okay. It's good to know that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you know this generative AI, basically you will know how to interact with the LLMs. Okay. So how to give the prompts to your LLMs, and how you will understand what is actually going inside an LLM.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
so basically, in even you are using the Microsoft Copilot or GitHub Copilot in our VS codes and all, right? So our companies are providing, right? So
Yes.
there also you will be understanding how to ask a question to that particular LLM, so that it will be answering nicely. I mean, you will understand the structure behind it and how to ask, how to deal with an LLM. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. Thanks, man.
thank you. So, do we have any other questions? So, tomorrow's class is going to be interesting, and we will see, um, we will see this, deep learning. What is the essence of deep learning, and how deep learning has evolved. And we will look at one simple problem of deep learning, and you will understand what is the core idea behind this deep learning and all right. So that is the thing. And I told you, right, I usually keep things as simple as possible. All right. So I know that people are from different domains, and they may not understand. I mean, the term machine learning may also scare people from testing background, like that, because machine learning, so this we might think that lots of calculations or lots of code is required. So but coming to generative AI, you need not to write that much amount of code, so when compared with the machine learning engineer. So right, so generative AI, as someone has asked, right, so they'll be using we will be using most of the times already built models, already well trained and well performing and state of the art models. All right, so you'll just have to utilize them using the API key and all. That's it. There is nothing more than that. So most of the applications you build on generative AI, it won't extend with hundreds of lines of code. Okay, so that is a thing. You can write a simple code for building generative AI application. So that I wanted to say. Yeah, do we have any further questions, or we'll catch up tomorrow?
For the class when we get like where we get recordings, and could you please allow from tomorrow like uh, chats in a class, like if possible,
Class.
like class recording from where we will get after the class.
After the class, we will be providing the recordings like this in the Google Drive itself. So Yeah, you can see my screen, right? So this is how we'll provide.
Screen is not visible. Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry. So you're not able to see what I'm writing over here.
No, no,
Oh,
actually.
yeah. Thank you.
So is it possible, like from tomorrow's class, you can allow chat while the like you are teaching, so like you can track. Uh, it depends on
Chat in the sense, sorry.
like my chat is disabled actually. Like I can't write anything while you are teaching now.
Okay, so the chat box you are saying.
Yeah, yeah, that is disabled. I can't write anything.
Oh, okay. So admin will request admin to have it enabled.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. So do we have any further questions on this? Yeah, so tomorrow we are going to meet, and at the same time the regular classes, so those classes will also be 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. IST, and the regular classes they are going to start from the coming Monday. I mean, so what is this? From 28th. So from 28th July, regular classes are going to start. Commence. Okay, so these are the class timings and all. All right. So tomorrow we'll have a thorough discussion on things. Okay. So today I would like to wind up the session. So unless you have any kind of questions. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. I mean 7:30. All right. Yeah. Thank you.